Hi guys, it's Ray. Today we are going to do a water slide. I have a pan of water ready and I'm going to try a full wrap. I cut a corner off just to double check that I printed on the right side because this one's a little harder for me to tell. And I have struggled with this one in the past, but I am going to try with the Koala No Need Spray white matte water slide decal paper. So I'm going to cut this down. And this image came from Creative Fabrica. There were several with this saying on it. I've seen this saying making the rounds, so if you're looking for it, they do have it, and it was sized nicely. And I will put the link for that down below. I do want to make this a little bit shorter than its actual print size because I'd want a little bit of space at the top and a little bit of space at the bottom. So I'm going to try to be mindful of that when I cut the other end. I didn't quite get all the white off that time. So a tiny sliver of white on this side. That's the problem with this trimmer. It's got this little tiny extra bit of the metal. So I'm going to cut this to 8 inches instead of the 8.2 or whatever it printed at. So I print on an Epson EcoTank 2803. I print my full wraps in a Word program that is free. It is Apache Open Office. I just turn my page to landscape, set my margins to 0, and then insert the picture, and it works beautifully. So that is what I do. I'm going to go ahead and soak this. I should do face down to start because Waterslide likes to curl. And I do not recommend this brand as a beginner water slide. This particular type of water slide. I find it didn't like to slide as much, and if you crease it, it's going to leave a spot in your image. So and I still could have cut this a little bit shorter. I may not like the way it goes to the bottom. But I think I'm going to put a little bit of glitter over this, so I'm going to put that paper right back down the slimy side so it doesn't stick. So I feel like that almost went too well. Last time I used this, I struggled like crazy, as I recall. But this time it went pretty nicely. See where I'm a little still too I'm gonna have that little buckle around the bottom because I cut it a little too short or a little too long where it starts to go around the bottom. Oh, that sounds awful on the table. Sorry. I'm just gonna use my paper towel to start. Oops. So I'm going to go almost right to the top, I guess. And this is definitely a little, I could have actually sized this down a tiny bit, and it probably would have been a perfectly seamless wrap. But, so I'm going to take my squeegee, I'm going to keep it wet, and I'm going to start in the middle and just kind of up and down, push any water out from underneath the water slide. Because you want this water-free underneath. But just keep your squeegee wet so it slides on your paper. And I just ripped it. That's why I say start in the middle and go to the top and the bottom. Don't do a full pass if you can avoid it, like I just did there. Luckily I caught it and didn't rip it far. Then go back to the middle and work the opposite direction. And like I said, I'm going to have a little bit of buckling at the bottom, but I am going to put that cheat glitter over it, which should hide any of that. I've also got a little bit at the top because I'm a little closer than the top than I would like to be. But I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to let it dry absolutely thoroughly, and then we will get a coat of epoxy on it. Okay, so now that this is dried, I remember one of the problems with it is if you had an overlap in the paper, it doesn't like to stick to itself. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to clean this up neatly or not. But I don't know any other way to fix this issue. So I'm just putting my blade down and like trying not to mess it up. Basically my goal is don't mess it up. And I messed it up. So I did take a little too much out of the end, but I can't have it curling up like that. So now I'm ready to get it under epoxy, even though I just got it wet somehow. Okay, so this is ready for epoxy, even though I just badly trimmed it and all of that. I already have epoxy mixed up. It has a little bit of the touch of neon diamond dust in it already. I'm also going to give it a little shake of the touch of neon glitter itself, which this casts a little bit of a yellowish hue, and you can see it in the bottle that it's kind of yellowy. So don't be alarmed by that. I absolutely love the vibrancy of this decal, or this wrap. I will probably do this one as a sublimation at some point. Popping bubbles, torching it out, smoothing it out. But yeah, super simple water slide wrap. Worked better than I ever expected for the type of water slide I chose to use. But here we go. That glitter just really makes everything pop. These colors were super to begin with, so I definitely still have some bubbles in here. I'm going to torch again in a minute. But float, drink, tan, and repeat. That's an excellent summer directive. So if you like this one, give it a thumbs up. If you want to use this decal, I will put the link to Creative Fabrica down below. If you don't already have a subscription, I highly recommend signing up for one. I use mine all the time. I think some of what I'm thinking is the micro bubbles is actually the yellow color in the glitter. So I'm going to stop torching before I burn it. So that is it, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.